third season. Coach, is this 19 or 20 for a head coach?
I quit counting when I turned 39. Yeah.
Well, okay. And that's been a few years ago. All right. It's good to see you. Good to see you guys today. Coach, if you'd introduce them or let them introduce themselves, and then some opening comments from you.
Okay. We got on the end down here, we got Elijah Sparks. We got Caden Franklin. Jonah Sparks. Yes, they're brothers. And Case Robertson. Elijah plays wide receiver, defensive back. Caden plays defensive back, quarterback, some receiver. Jonah plays running back, receiver, Case OLDL.
All right, Coach. Talk about maybe what you've done this summer, the improvements that you've seen this summer, and you're headed into fall practice here. I don't know if are you starting this week or next week?
No, we had a spring. We played DAR in the spring game, so we will start next Monday, official practice. We've had a good summer. The guys have worked hard. That's why these 4 guys are here. They're pretty much 100% attendance, except for a couple guys that have been to church camp, and Jesus is going to win that battle every time. So, I've been really proud of these guys. They're there all the time. They work. They go to work every day, and they bring their hard hats, and that's why they're here. They're extremely good, hard workers, good kids.
Well, Coach, I want to ask you this. Of course, the region you're in, very tough. People don't realize how good Appalachian, Raglan, Valley Head, and that in Spring Garden.
Spring Garden, yeah.
Yeah, and you and Gillsville both had good football teams last year, in my opinion. This is a tough region. It's a tough mountain to climb. What are some of the things you foresee that your team can do to get up to that next level, naturally make a playoff?
Well, one of the things, we like to shoot for is to have a good number per class, and we're kind of lacking in that regard. As a matter of fact, Elijah is our only senior that starts. We have a couple of guys that are kind of late additions that moved in or whatnot, but that's one of the things. Now, on my sophomore class, we have 15, so that's good. But that's one of the things. We went to Appalachian a couple of years ago, and I remember being amazed that they had a 90-member band and 100 cheerleaders and a full football team, and I felt like I was at a 4A school. And so that was something that's difficult as far as being, I think we graduated 34 people last year. So I feel like we're a little bit outnumbered sometimes. Spring Garden, again, they graduate 12 or 13 a year. So that part is, where we're trying to work on recruiting our own kids in the hallway and things like that. Right now we're 7 through 12, around the 40 number, which is not great in most places, but when you have 12 or 13 boys a grade or 14, that's not too far off. So, but that's one of the things that we have tried to improve on the off season, is kind of recruiting our own guys. But they do a good job. All our athletes have the weight and conditioning period together, so it's kind of a family oriented kind of school. So that works out good for us. But we're trying to get as many kids that we can get to play football for us. So that's where we're at.
Coach, how many returning players have starting experience? They may be starting in another position, but how many returners do you have coming back?
Well, we have about 8 on defense and 7 on offense. We had 7 seniors last year, 4 of which really started and played. So at any time, we have a lot of guys that play both ways, and we got a lot of experience. But we also got bit last year bad by the injury bug. I know section did as well. But after this meeting right here, we had 2 guys that moved to different schools, and then we had one of the guys that came with me last year didn't get to play because he had broken his leg in 2 places in the spring game. We lost those 3, and then at any given time during the year, we had another 8 kids out. Caden was a starting quarterback. He separated his shoulder and ended up playing the last 4 or 5 games at receiver. Jonah bumped from receiver to quarterback. Elijah tore his ACL against Valley Head. Had another kid tear his ACL. It was who's who. TOC really raked in money from Woodville last year, so it was a tough year in that regard. I think, again, at any given time we were down 8 starters. So I don't even like to think about it and talk about it, but it is the truth. So it's just, those are the things you fight through. I've been in a 6A school. We didn't have that many injuries. So,
You alluded to the fact that you played a spring game earlier this year. What did you see coming out of the spring game as you head into fall that's going to help you?
Well, I was really pleased with it. We played DAR in the spring, and it was a successful outing for us. I thought Caden looked good throwing the ball, Elijah catching the ball. Jonah had close to 100 yards rushing in that game. Of course, Case leads the front. I feel good about our offensive and defensive front. Unfortunately, we play a lot of guys both ways in that area, but I feel really good about those guys. They work extremely hard. They have, they are very coachable, and they're just good kids. And in fact, I'm very proud of all these young men.
For the players, Coach Poole mentioned what you guys went through last year, especially from the injury standpoint, and having to shuffle around and maybe play a position at a moment's notice that maybe at that moment you felt like you might not be ready for that just yet. But what have you taken from that experience, and how have you translated that this offseason to help you grow and to be better and so that you could be better individually and as a player for your team?
I feel like a lot of us having to play both sides of the ball. We have to learn how to play different positions at any given time because anybody get injured or get hurt. I just feel like that's honestly brought us together because we're teaching the younger ones how to play both sides of the ball, how to play different positions. So,
it's really the same thing. I agree with Elijah, and really just I don't really know.
That's them.
We really got to teach these young guys up. Got to get them a lot of reps. Just got to show them what they need to be doing, really.
Like Case said, just teaching the young guys how to play both sides of the ball and just being leaders. So,
Well, this is for the players. I want you to comment again, talking about Coach Poole. He's came in, laid the foundation. And in a 1A school, it's very important to have consistency within the coaching staff. What does Coach Poole mean to you, not only on the field, but off the field?
To me, he's not just a football coach. He's a great role model. And he's kind of like our dad on and off the field. Like, he'll call one of us and ask if we need a ride. To me, he's really just a person I can look up to, and I really respect him. I feel like I can come with him with anything. So,
like Kane said, yeah, I'd say he's honestly like a second dad to me. He's somebody that I can look up to. He's somebody that I can always rely on in anything, in any aspect, not only on the field but off the field too. But yeah,
like they said, to me, he's just a good role model that I can just look up to him. And like Elijah said, just a second dad.
Coach Poole is a really good role model. I look to him kind of like a grandpa. He's in that range.
I just told Caden not to do that, and he did it.
You're not going to live Grandpa down.
I'm not. Can't get over it.
Guys, I want to ask you a question. Obviously, you're leaders of the football team. You're going to play a lot of plays this year. You're going to have to play a lot of plays for you to get to the level and to win the games that you want to win. But there's also some young guys you've been working out with this summer since the spring, who maybe some of those guys that's got to step into important positions on your football team that may not have played a lot of plays so far.
One person specifically, I think, Caleb Lancaster. He plays both sides of the ball. He plays linebacker and H-back. Plays a little bit of slot too. He's really grown this offseason. Last year was his first year playing. And he's really grown a lot, not only in the weight room, but on the field. He's gotten faster, stronger, bigger. And he's also leading the younger guys. So, yeah, that's definitely a man, I'd say.
to me, I think of AJ Vasquez. Just he was on the line last year, and the way that he can just switch positions and at any given time, he plays DN, outside linebacker, H-back, receiver. I mean, he can really do it all.
Like Elijah said, Caleb Lancaster, he's put in a bunch of work this offseason, and I think he's going to be a big part in our offense.
I'd say one kid that's really put in a lot of work is Kobe Pitzer. He's put in a lot of work on the weight room, and you could basically put him anywhere in the line you needed him.
Coach, you want to add anything to what they said?
Yeah, I've been very pleased with some of the younger kids. Like I mentioned before, I think we're going to have 15 sophomores And a lot of those guys, they mentioned Caleb, stepping it up. Lance, our two inside linebackers will be sophomores. And they're big kids. They're pretty strong, and they've worked really hard in the offseason. Very proud of those guys. So there's multiple others that are young that are playing, Aiden Smith and people like that are going to have to play. But we've made strides in that, and I think depending on the playoffs and our wins losses, it's going to depend on those kids that are filling those roles, those role players that can step up and really grow up and get better out here. It's going to be real important to this team.
Well, Coach, I want to ask you this. A lot of unsung heroes in a football program, your coaching staff. Talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, we unfortunately in this offseason, we lost one of the guys that I coached back when I was at Albertville, Austin Pankey. He went back to Albertville. But we replaced him with a fellow by the name of Keith Gerald from New Hope. And I've known Keith for 20-something years. He's kind of long in the tooth like me. And he's going to replace him, and he's got a just drove of experience, and he's a good coach. And we will really benefit from Coach Gerald. We hired a young guy from Douglas named Jacob Sims, and first thing he asked when he walked in when I talked to him before he got hired was, "Are you still running the offense you ran against us when you was at DAR, when we was at Douglas?" And I was like, yeah, well, I do. And he was like, he just shook his head like this, and I took that as a compliment. So, but we got those two guys. We got John Parsons as our defensive coordinator. Rob Rogers coaches in the secondary. Mitchell McKenzie's kind of a mainstay. He's the O-line coach, but he's also a weight room guy, and he's a youth pastor there at the Woodville Baptist Church, and he does a lot for our kids, and he's a great role model. Matter of fact, I'm very proud of all those guys in that regard. They're good role model. Jackson Peak helps us out. He was a former quarterback at Woodville, and Sam Peak is his brother, and he's there from time to time, but Sam's playing Alabama A&M, so he can't be there always. But those are great guys for these guys to see. They're really good with the kids, and again, we're on them all the time. I think they wish they didn't give their number to us sometimes, because we're all calling and talking and getting to them and talking with them and trying to, tell them what we need them to do and where we need them to be. So, but yeah, very good staff. They're a fun staff to be with. We like to hang out together. We play golf together. We, go out to eat together, and that's probably from 150 years ago when I first started coaching, when I was at Arab with Pod Patterson and Red Littleton. That staff was so close knit. They were so close knit. We went on vacation together, and I thought it was like that everywhere. And over my travels, I've learned that it's not. But this staff that we have now are very close knit, and they're just a bunch of good guys.
Players, I want to ask you a question as we kind of wrap up today. Maybe individual goals that you have for yourself here this season, and team goals that you guys maybe have talked with your teammates about.
Obviously, make playoffs. That's a big goal that we've had for a while. And I feel like that's something that we'll do this year. I feel like we have the right mindset and the right goals, and we're on the right track to get there. So
I agree with Elijah 100%. I think anything other than playoffs is just a disappointment. But also staying in shape, putting in extra work, like bonding together as a team, and really just taking care of your body. And
like they said, making playoffs. I truly think that we have that ability to do that this year, and we're on the right track.
Definitely playoffs, and then just working together as a team more.
Coach, we'll wrap it up with you with not in wins and losses, but maybe your expectation, your goals for this year's Woodville team.
Well, I think all these guys up here have heard me talk a bunch of times about character, and we talk about it, character ed and character education, and character is what you're doing when no one's watching, and that's one of the things that I hope they carry with them from this program on, and I hope that all of my guys have throughout the years to develop great character and to be where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing all the time, and hope they become good citizens. I don't want I want to see those lawyers and those. Not even lawyer. I don't care if you go dig a ditch as long as you're a great family man and you treat your kids right and your wife right and you have self-respect. I'm great with that. But that's one of the big things I want to see them. But throughout this season, obviously, as you can tell, our goal is to make the playoffs. It's always our goal. So that's one of the big things. I would like to see us have another extremely good winning season like we did 2 years ago. Those are few and far between at Woodville. So, but I believe this group has the ability to do it if we can come together as a team. I know we're young, but there's a lot of really good people on this team, a lot of good kids, and a lot of good hard work is going in this summer. And I've been really pleased with the off season in the spring, and so I think the future looks bright.
All right, thanks, guys. Good luck, Coach. Good luck to the Panthers this year.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Phil.